Captain StarLog, May 12th, 2017. Welcome back, guys. I'm Captain Foley, and today we have an interesting topic. One that's going to cause a lot of controversy. Already has over the years, but we're going to kind of delve into it and talk about it. Not necessarily come up with any answers or solutions, but let's just look at the facts and try to have a level head on our shoulders when we talk about it. Okay? We're going to get into that in a minute. First of all, I wanted to show you a few things. If you guys have been following me at all, you've known that on Free Comic Book Day I grabbed some little miniatures. I just wanted to show those to you guys right now, real quick. Here's the Type 7 Tng Shuttlecraft. This one was designed by Andrew Probert. I never really liked it on screen, but now that I have a little model of it, a little miniature, it's actually a cool little design. So I'm more on board with the Type 7. Still, it is kind of ugly, but it is what it is. I am starting to appreciate it a lot more, that's for sure. We got this one here. This is named the Acorum. Now this is more like a ship of the week that you see in TNG, kind of like a Rick Sternbach kind of design ship of the week. These little miniatures are really awesome. There's a lot of good detail in them, so I'm really enjoying these. I've actually got a bunch more coming. A friend of mine, Chris Pico, the old ass retro gamer, is selling his game. I can't remember the name of the game for this. Starship something. But it's kind of like HeroClix. Combined with like a battle simulator. So he's selling his game and a bunch of the figures. He's got the original Constellation class ship, a bunch of other ones that are kind of hard to find. He's getting rid of all of them. He's selling them to me for about $50 for the whole game and all these miniatures he has. He's got a lot of miniatures. So I'm looking forward to getting those. And the only one he's keeping is the Scimitar for himself because it's his favorite ship. And it's a pretty cool ship, so I can't really blame him. So next up is the Kazon Ship, which, I got a model kit of this, a big model kit over there. I don't know if I'll ever build it. Probably not, because it's an interesting design. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Got the USS Raven. This is the one that 7 of 9's parents were flying when they were investigating the Borg. I gotta admit, this is a fantastic little ship. One of my favorite designs. Interestingly enough, no line of sight on these nacelles, so take that for what it's worth. A lot of you guys believe in the line of sight rule, but I'm not really a proponent of it. I think it's possible to circumvent those rules. I mean, I'm sure in TOS era, maybe, or earlier, it might have applied. But, I mean, you got the Defiant, you got cannon ships that don't really have line of sight, so. Speaking of line of sight, a big proponent and a big believer in that is Andrew Probert, who also designed this, the Dideridex Romulan Warbird. Again, these are fantastic little miniatures. Lots of good detail on them. So I'm looking forward to actually being able to play this game at some point with somebody. I'm sure Sylvia will play with me. I'm sure Commander Cockings will as well when he's over. So we'll have to see how it goes. My brother Steve probably would. Here's a Klingon bird of prey, battle damaged. We got a Bajoran fighter. Little Bajoran fighter. Interesting little design for sure. Like I said before, though, I'm not a huge fan of the Bajorans, but it's a neat little ship, to be sure. Next up is the NX-01, designed, of course, by Doug Drexler. So I've got at least one Enterprise in the lineup. Like I said, I will be getting more, though. So, and lastly, we got the Constellation. This one was designed by Andrew Probert and Rick Sternbach. They worked together collaboratively on it. And yeah, we've done a Trekyards episode on it. Check it out if you haven't. It was an interesting one to learn about. The 4 nacelle configuration is rather cool. And I think the first time I've ever seen a four nacelle design in canon Star Trek, at least. There are four nacelle designs like the Mars class, the TOS era Mars class battleship, and things like that, but I don't really, a lot of people wouldn't consider those canon. Now, if you watch my last Captain's Log from last week, you know that I got a bunch of stuff from Canada Post, and I had some stuff coming in the mail, which I said would probably arrive. I filmed that one on a Wednesday. I said probably arrive on the Thursday or the Friday when the Captain's Log aired. It came on the Friday. That's when I got it. So I have them. I have a few of the things I ordered. There's still a few more on the way. But I wanted to show those to you guys now. This is the official set of 7 official first day covers. And we got all the Enterprises there. Which is just... not all the Enterprises. I keep saying that. I said it in the last Captain's Log. Then I realized watching it back that Voyager and the Defiant are not Enterprises. So there's all the hero ships is what I should be saying. Let me take this out of here. It's the first time looking through this, guys. I set them down here with the intent of showing you guys, and I have not yet looked at them, so we will look at them together for the first time. So beautiful artwork. On the back it shows them all, but we're going to open it up. It just opens up like that, and then, oh, that's cool. On the inside there's Voyager, the Refit, Galaxy, NX-01, and Defiant. Inside we got the envelopes. Yeah, we'll show them to you. Here, this one's from Wrath of Khan. It says 1982. It's got the stamp there with Kirk and Khan. Kirk and Khan here. Enterprise in the background. On the back, it's got a little biography on James T. Kirk. So, yeah, just a little brief summary of his career and stuff. Here we've got the TNG one. This is 1987 to 1994. And again, you got Locutus and Picard up here. Picard and crew on the cover. And on the back, it's got a little biography and information on Picard. Next up is Deep Space Nine, 1993 to 1999. So we've got Cisco and Ducat, the crew, the wormhole, the Defiant over here, and Cisco. And on the back, can you guess what's on the back, guys? Yeah, that's right. It's a biography and a little description of Cisco. The captains. Next up is Voyager, 1995 to 2001. So you got Janeway and the Borg Queen, the crew, the Intrepid class over here, Janeway, and on the back, a biography on Janeway, a little description about her. It looks super long, but it's not. This top half is English, the bottom half is French. Same with this. This is English, this is French, because Canada is or bilingual, sorry, officially bilingual, so we have to have French on all of our stuff as well. So, next up is 2001 to 2005, and that is Enterprise. We got Archer there on the stamp with the Xindi Reptilian, the crew, the NX-01 in the corner, and then Archer, of course. On the back, again, of course, is Archer. Biography, stats, and brief history. Kind of like a Starfleet rookie card, I guess. Oh, this one's just awesome. This is the Borg one. This is the stamp. This whole thing is the stamp. It's a $5 stamp. And it's got that nice metallic sheen to it, which is awesome. You got 7 of 9 here. And on the back, got a little description about the Borg. You got 7 of 9, the Borg Queen, Locutus, and Hugh. Oh, this one's cool. This one's nice. The Galileo cutaway and the Galileo stamp in the corner there. And on the back, it's got a description of the Galileo. So there you have it, guys. There's the day of issue. Official first day covers. I love on the little thing here. You pull it down, it says engage. But there you got it. That's pretty epically awesome. Again, Canada Post does such a great job. Last year when I was in Ticonderoga for Mission Canada, where we went, and I was mailing out all the comm badges and things for you guys for the perks. I mailed them from the Ticonderoga post office, and while I was there I picked up your 50th anniversary Star Trek stamps for the American ones, and they aren't super stunning or stellar. I mean, I don't know if you've released more, but the stamp set I got was like, I got two pages of it, but like a little square page with like maybe 12 stamps just kind of repeated. I do have it over there. I think I've showed it off before, but I just think that Canada Post is doing a fantastic job. I got 2 of these sets because if I got over a certain amount, it would be free shipping, and they're $16.95 each. So I got 2 sets. Not a big deal. I mean, they're collectible items, so 2 is always good to have. Next up, we got a set of 5 postage paid postcards. And again, I have not looked at these yet. So the first one, as you saw, is the Wrath of Khan. And on the back, you've got the stamp. It's ready to go. You can fill it out and mail it off. So that's the Wrath of Khan. Got TNG. Some great episodes there. Inner Light. Well, it's just all Inner Light, actually. And on the back, you've got the postage paid. Inner Light, good episode. Kind of depressing, but you know, that's what some of the best stories are that. This is ultimate. My favorite episode of Star Trek, probably ever, is this one. Deep Space Nine, Pale Moonlight. Stunning episode, awesome. This scene, I can live with it. I can live with it. And the postage paid on the back there. Finale of Voyager. And the back. Endgame, sorry. And this is the episode where Trip dies, but not the season finale or series finale spoilers. This is the one where he has a clone, or like a replica done, and it dies. And there's the back. So guys, there's the postcard set. I believe I have another one of these on the way as well. This was $11.95. If you want to pick up any of these items, feel free to go to canadapost.ca and you can order them. They ship to the States, so you can get, and like I said, if you, depending on how much you order, you can get free shipping. And it's definitely worth it. They've got some fantastic things to take advantage of, and I highly recommend them. As you guys have seen, they're quality product and simply amazing. So yes, so there you go. That's kind of the recap of stuff I wanted to get out of the way for the beginning of this episode. The Hero Clicks ships, the minis over here from Pre-Comic Book Day, and then the Canada Post stuff. Now to the topic of contention. the bridge of the TOS Enterprise? Straight or tilted? We're going to kind of talk a few things about each, what it could be, why it could be that way. I personally, because of the Franz Josef book and growing up with it, I like to believe that it is tilted just to line up with the tube at the back of the bridge module on the exterior of the ship. That's just my personal belief. Okay, so when I built my 350 model, I put it that way. It doesn't make sense to me. It's odd because when the ship stops or gets hit, they fly forward. They don't fly this way, which would make sense if they're sitting this way and the front of the ship is that way. You know, if they got stopped, they'd kind of go like this. But, so that's one of the arguments. The other argument is that the bridge actually does face straight, and what happens is that turbo shaft at the back of the bridge module on the exterior of the ship is the main the main turbo lift shaft, and then the turbo lift comes out and slides over to where the doors are. Perfectly acceptable explanation. Apparently, there's also the theory that right behind Uhura's station, because if you tilt the bridge from its orientation, you put the view screen forward, Uhura's station is right behind or in front of that exterior turbo lift shaft. So there's a theory that there's extra storage in there for like an extra turbo lift. There's actually two turbo lifts available for the bridge at all times in case of emergency. You always need one on the bridge. The reason I don't buy that theory, though, is because in the naked time when Kirk is trying to get off the bridge, I forget who just left, but O'Reilly is down in engineering singing "One More Time," and it's getting irritating, and he goes to go out of the doors on the turbo lift, and the doors don't open. He's like, "Uhura, clear that tube," because somebody had just left, which means that there was no backup turbo lift ready to go unless they were both in use. It's a distinct possibility, but I don't really buy that, I don't think. So I like to think that that shaft, that exterior, on the exterior of the ship, is where the turbo lift sits when it opens up. Makes the bridge fill that whole dome. Now, I've seen schematics, I've seen cutaways that have been expertly done and explain it beautifully, that in fact there's quite a gap between the exterior of the hull and the interior of the bridge, and that makes perfect sense. There's got to be a walkway behind there. Apparently that's where the toilet is, the head, as they call it in the military. That's where that is. There's walkways back there to repair the circuitry and the computer displays from the back. And so that gives the ship a bit of a bigger feel. Now, I haven't done all the math and the dimensions. I haven't really researched this topic because I'm just going in with the knowledge that I do have. So if you guys know exactly what the size of the exact bridge is and compared to the overall exterior size of the ship and compare it to the dome, does it work that way? I don't know. I think it makes perfect sense that way. And I'm not going to, be for or against either point of view. I agree with both of them. I really do. But in my personal headcanon, I like to think that it's cantered, it's angled like it is in the Franz Josef technical manual. Simply because Franz Josef and Gene Roddenberry collaborated early on, and now Franz Josef did do some things that I don't really agree with. Doug Drexler doesn't agree with it either. He put the engineering at the back of the primary saucer, the main engineering room at the back of the primary saucer, which we've already done a discussion on a captain's log, talking about where is the engine room. But my feeling on that is that there's multiple engine rooms on a ship like the Enterprise, so everything can be explained away. But since I grew up with the Franz Josef technical manual, I love the dreadnought design. That breaks the pairs rule. Then Gene and Franz Josef had a falling out, so when it came to motion picture time, he's like, there's no dreadnoughts, there's no three nacelle ships, it's a pairs rule. And he kind of discredited everything that Franz Josef had done, which is a real shame. So I don't know what the falling out was exactly, but that's an actual fact. And it's a shame, but, things happen. So that's why I believe that it's just because I grew up with it. and it makes sense. Now, the real reason for the turbo lift being offset like that is for staging for the shots. They didn't want the captain's chair being directly in line with the turbo lift, so that when another crew member or guest star came on the bridge, the captain wasn't blocking their entrance. So that's why everything was tilted. At that time, the exterior of the ship was already established, so the turbo lift shaft was there. Matt Jeffries did want it to be directly behind the captain's chair, from what I understand, and but because of the camera angles and things, they had to shift the whole bridge. And then Franz Josef just took that and ran with it and came up with the explanation. That's just, which there's ridiculous reasons over the years that people have come up with for why that is. In case the ship gets boarded and somebody takes the turbo lift up to the bridge, that the captain's not in the direct line of fire should they open fire as soon as those doors open. Makes some kind of sense, but at the same time, no, not really. I mean, I've been on the bridge set, and if they're just opening, yes, I understand. You can't really get a direct shot at the captain. But I would think that if you're a Klingon boarding the ship, you're going to have enough advanced knowledge of the ship design and layout to know that the captain's over there. So you're going to wait for it to open, then shoot him, or you're going to be on this side of the turbo lift. As soon as the door opens, free shot in. So that's just one of the explanations. Yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. I do like the fact that and see, this supports the whole, this next thing I want to talk about supports the whole turbo lift shaft behind Uhura's station with the bridge facing forward. In the animated series, they added another turbo lift, but it was to the left. When you're looking at the view screen, it's to the left of the view screen. And there's no exterior turbo lift shaft for that, but there's obviously enough room for a turbo lift. Now, I know Star Trek the Animated Series isn't considered canon, so don't jump all over me for it, but I'm just, as Trekyards, we have to think about these things, and we try to retcon, and it could be, we know that the bridge modules of the ships are plug and play. You unplug the whole bridge module, put in a new one, connecting to all the pre-existing circuitry. So if they did a little bit of renovating on the ship, add an extra turbo lift, just put a new bridge module in, but there's obviously enough room that doesn't need an exterior turbo lift shaft. So that makes sense for the bridge facing forward. There's enough room back there that they can get away with having that extra turbo lift shaft, which could be an emergency one. It could be like an Enterprise D that goes straight to auxiliary control in this case. In the Enterprise D, it went straight to the battle bridge or the emergency bridge. That's the one on the right of the view screen when you're facing the view screen on the Enterprise D. That was a dedicated turbo lift shaft directly to the emergency bridge. So that supports the theory that it's straight, which I like the theory that it's straight. It makes sense. If your inertial dampeners aren't working and you're facing that way and your ship is going this way, you're going to get disoriented. It's going to make you sick, probably. I don't know. I like the theory that it faces forward. I really do. It makes the most sense to me. In my OCD brain, my perfectionist brain, my right angle brain, everything on my desk has to be at right angles and neat and tidy. Okay? That makes sense to me. To have it cantered to a degree doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time, that's how I built my model. Because I like to think that turbo lift shaft at the back is just that turbo lift shaft. There's not enough room to slide another turbo lift all around there or whatever. So that's my thinking. Yell at me if you want. I understand there's going to cause a lot of debate down below, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? The fact that in the motion picture, they changed the shape of the bridge module and added 2 turbo lifts, which is what they should have done from the beginning. They should have 2 turbo lifts in TOS, in my opinion. That would have made more sense. You always got an emergency way off the bridge should one of the turbo lift shafts not be clear. Now, there are escape ladders and things that have access to the bridge from the bottom, the deck right below the bridge. There's like a hatchway or whatever behind the view screen, because you can get back there. There's like a walkway in all versions of the bridge, no matter which way you have it facing. So But I think to have the 2 turbo lifts makes the most amount of sense. And they should have done that from the beginning. I love that they did it with the all other versions of the Enterprise, pretty much. I know that the NX-01 has only 1 turbo lift, but the other one goes to the ready room. That's another thing Captain Kirk was sorely missing, was a ready room. But that's another issue entirely. But so those are kind of my thoughts on it. I don't want people to argue about it, and yet they do. There was a huge debate on it the other day over on the Trekyards page, and just some people are just so closed-minded that they can't see the other person's opinion, or they don't care to understand it. They're like, no, you've got to stop perpetuating this myth that it's angled, because it isn't, blah, 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 blah. And I chimed in and said, well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's their own version of canon. Well, no, it's not. In a logical world, the logical answer is this. And it's like, well, yes, I guess, but whatever. Why not have the bridge rotate? Why not, when they're in orbit of a planet, because of the gravitational pull of the planet, the bridge canters that way towards the planetary rotation. I don't know why. To help with inertial dampening systems, I don't know. When they get into open space, it just very smoothly, no one even notices, the whole thing shifts forward. Then if somebody needs to use a turbo lift, as the turbo lift is coming up, the bridge realigns. I know that's excessively overly complicated and wouldn't work. The mechanics wouldn't work, but why not? You can explain it that way. Maybe it can turn all kinds of directions. I don't know. I don't want it to be an argument anymore. I don't want it to be a debate. It's like the old debates of Star Trek keep cropping up. That's one of them. That's just one of them. Where's the deflector on the Miranda? Don't get me started on that discussion either. Anyway, so guys, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions. Which way do you think the bridge faces? Does it face forward? Is the view screen forward? Is the view screen offset? What do you guys think? What about that external detail of the turbo lift shaft? Does the turbo lift come up and then slide over? Could be. Makes sense. You don't even need an extra storage tube there. It could just be that it comes up, slides forward, and then slides into place by the doors. But again, that's getting overly complicated. Why would they design it like that? I'm sure there's explanations and theories and things that I haven't even touched on. Like I said, I didn't do any real research for this episode, as I just have all this knowledge about the bridge that I have collected over the years, and I'll have, of course, the diagrams and pictures and stuff up here to kind of help with what I'm talking about. But I mean, I would be really interested in hearing your thoughts. This deserves a Trekyards episode at some point. And all your comments and questions, or all your comments and facts that you put in the comment section of this one, we will include in that episode when we get to it. This is kind of like a Treknology episode or a podcast where we discuss where or how the bridge should be orientated. So put your facts and everything you know about it down below, and we will include it in that episode, because it's definitely worth looking into. We should do a Trekyards series that focuses on the debates of Star Trek, the inconsistencies of Star Trek. Look at all the points of view, come up with a pro and con list for each, and try to solve these things rationally and logically. It's very difficult to do, but I think it's something that would be very enjoyable for you guys to watch, and I would definitely love to do that for you guys. So please don't beat each other up, don't yell at me, don't scream at me. If I missed something, if I stated something erroneously, please let me know, but do it nicely, put it in the comments, and I will definitely be looking at the comments and addressing them as need be. So there you have it, guys. I personally really think it should be straight, but at the same time, just because of that external detail on the bridge dome, I have it facing off to the side on my model. Right or wrong, that's just the way it is, guys. And Yeah, I took a lot of flack for that when I first posted pictures of it. A lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so cool! You got the bridge right," and most other people were like, "Why is the bridge? You got the bridge crooked." The model allows for that. The model has a groove at the back for where the turbolift doors are. When you put it into the dome, you can. It's got two grooves, one lined up with the turbolift shaft and one lined off to the side, so you can have the bridge facing forward. So they've taken that into account. That's how much of an issue it is in the Star Trek community. They've addressed it in the model that you can put it in either way. But yeah, it could move. There's lots of different theories, guys. I think I've touched on everything I wanted to touch on about that. Watching this back in editing, I'll probably be like, oh, I should have said this or whatever. But I am filming this rather late at night. It's like 11 o'clock now. You know, the wife's out. She's hanging out with some friends from work. And I thought I'd get this done earlier in the week so I have more time to edit it. I'm not scrambling on Thursday to get this done. So if I missed anything, I apologize. I might be able to record a Captain's Log supplemental to tack on to the end of this during the next few days, because this is Sunday, and it doesn't come out till Friday, so I got all week. So I might add something at the end of this, but I severely doubt it. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully I can find all the pictures that I wanted to show you guys up here, and when we're having this discussion, to kind of get my points across. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in and watching every Captain's Log I do. A lot of you seem to really enjoy just hearing me talk, and I really love that about you guys. You're fantastic. So yes, and thank you for all your support for Trekyards. If you can help us out by going over into Patreon, please do so. Patreon/Trekyards. There's a link in the description below. Even if you donate, everyone donated $1 a month, $1 a month, literally, from everybody would be life-changing and immensely awesome for the channel. We would be able to create so much new content, do this new show that we talk about where we're going to be looking at the idiosyncrasies and the problems with Star Trek and try to solve those for you guys, or at least present all the sides for you guys. That's something we can do if we got more help donation wise. Now, if you want to do a one-time donation, you can head over to Trekyards.com, click the donate button, and help us out that way. That also helps out if you just want to do like a $20 donation or something, and you don't want to do it on a monthly basis. That's perfectly fine. So, but anyway, guys, lots of exciting stuff coming up in the next month or two. There's the Ultimate Insiders Weekend at Ticonderoga with Doug Drexler and Michael and Denise Okuda. And Samuel is going to be flying down for that. He's going to be here for 2 weeks in June. We're going to go down for that weekend and talk to Michael and Denise and Doug Drexler. Doug Drexler just released his tour video version 2 today or the day before. But Samuel and myself are both in it. That's the tour we went on him with last time. Samuel was on a few more of the tours while I was doing some other stuff on the sets. But you can see us in that tour if you go to Doug Drexler's page and check out that video. So you can see the captain and the commander, and even my brother Steve's there, as well as Samuel's dad is there as well on that tour. So it's definitely worth watching. Doug has some fantastic stories and great insights into the set that were fantastic to watch and to hear again. I learned a lot the second time that I must have completely forgot from the first time. So there you have it, guys. That's coming up soon, and a few other little things that we need to announce. Some exciting things happening, and we're kind of moving forward on a few things that we've been promising for a while now. So, but we're not going to lay it all out for you guys until it's all set in place and we know 100% that it's happening. So there you go. All right, I think I've rattled on and sounded like a disoriented old man long enough. I think it's time to call it quits for today. So yes, comment below. Let us know what you guys think about the bridge situation. Let me know if you're interested in the Canada Post stuff. There's still more stuff coming, so the next Captain's Log will probably have more of that kind of thing. I am expecting a few things in the mail as well that I want to share with you guys on the next Captain's Log too. So there you have it, guys. So anyway, as always, subscribe. Don't forget to watch another video, and we'll see you guys in the future. Bye-bye.